What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crowncast. Today we got a lot going on. We're going to talk about the NFL honors in the preseason. So we're going to predict what we think is going to happen throughout the season, who's going to win the awards, and yeah. So I'm Dawson, and this is Logan,
What up, boys?
and he's got something to talk about before we really get into it. So I'm going to let him take the wheels.
So our last video, it was about an hour into it. We discussed a challenge, a $300 reward challenge. So basically every week, starting Thursday, because we already did our weekly predictions. So for example, like we picked the Cowboys versus the Buccaneers, which is the first game.
If you haven't seen it yet, you should go back and watch Crowncast episode 1.
We both picked the Buccaneers, spoiler, which is no shock because the Cowboys are trash, but we won't talk about that.
You got to stop saying stuff that's bad about the Cowboys, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
All right, okay.
So you have to have your week one predictions by Thursday. It is completely free. You have to just DM us, Twitter, Instagram. You can Facebook message us, whichever. And you do that every single week. There's 272 games. So that's based on your record. And yeah, we're just going to send it.
You could win 130 games and lose the other 140. But it just comes down to whoever has the best record at the end of the season. And then obviously ties will split the prizes to a certain point, and we'll figure it out from there.
And obviously, chances are you'll at least get 17 because Texans are not going to win a game. So,
I mean, we established that. But anyway, do you want to get into it?
Yeah. So we're going to go first. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, so I have a feeling I know who you picked, but I'm curious who you picked. So I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Personally?
Yes.
Zach Wilson.
Really? Okay, so that's not who I thought you were going to pick.
Who do you think I was going to pick?
So let me preface this for the people who don't know. I'm a big Packer fan.
Yeah.
And we play the Bears twice a year.
Yep.
And I swear I thought he was going to say Justin Fields. I really did. And I think he might have initially.
Yeah.
But he changed his mind because that's a tough pick.
Well, the thing is you got to look at it like Trubisky. Dude, he flamed the Bears in preseason. So is it the Bears or is it the quarterback?
Well, I think. All right. Well, this is not a bold prediction, but I don't expect Matt Nagy to be their head coach this entire season.
Really?
No, I think he'll get
this
fired.
Entire season?
No, I think he'll get fired by week 8 because they're going to win 3 games by then.
Wow.
Yeah. The Bears are an 8-win team at best this season.
Even with that defense?
I love their defense, like from a football perspective, not from a fan perspective, because obviously I don't like the Bears. But
that's fair.
Their defense is great. Eddie Jackson, great. Khalil Mack, no question at all. You know, he's A1 talent. You know, and that's just a couple of the players off their team. I could get into it more, but like solid. And I like their wide receiver core. Don't get me wrong, but this is not the regular podcast, so let's.
So who do you have for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
So for me, I took Mac Jones. I think you knew that.
Mac Jones.
So the Patriots looked good, and he looks really good. Did you catch the news? And I don't know if this is actual confirmed, but he was teaching Cam Newton the playbook.
Teaching him
the playbook, the Patriots playbook. That is the rumor that's going around. I have no clue if that's true or not, but it's kind of wild to me that you can.
The rookie comes in and teaches a vet
the playbook on a team he's been on for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So either Cam is lazy, stupid, or Mac is just that far ahead of him.
Or Mac just putting more effort in.
Just brilliant. Which is possible because they did say coming into the draft that he was the most pro-ready, at least mentally.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously he's proving that if that's the case. So I like Mac Jones going in this season. They brought in John U. Smith. They brought in Hunter Henry, Nelson Aguilar. They brought in some good talent.
They did bring in some good talent.
And
I agree.
I really like Ramondre Stevenson. Did you watch him play at all in the preseason?
I did not.
So he's their running back, or one of them. I'm pretty sure they're going to have somebody else starting. I can't remember. Damian Williams, is it? Or no, that sounds wrong.
For running back?
Yeah.
Damian Harris?
Yes, I think that's what it is.
They have Damian Harris and James White.
Is James White still with them?
I thought so.
But no, I really like him, and I think that even if he's just a rotational guy, because Patriots run by committee, he's very dynamic. He's very fast, and he looked great in preseason. So But moving on, defensive rookie of the year.
I'll have you go first.
You're gonna have me go first. Okay. So I've been seeing a lot of people who do these things pick corners or linebackers. Like Zaven Collins is high on my list. I wanted Green Bay to draft him. He didn't get there. He's a freak athlete, and I think he has a shot with Arizona because what he can do, what he brings to the table. But I'm going with Kwity Paye because in 2 preseason games, he got first-team reps, and he had 2 sacks. And he looks really – and I think he had 13 tackles.
Well, we can just move on because I have
Did you actually pick Kwity Paye?
I have the same guy.
No shit. Okay. So,
Kwity Paye.
So, he looks really good, and he's going to come in. He's going to replace Danico Autry, which, 7.5 sacks last season or whatever he had.
Yeah.
No slouch. He's a decent player. But the way Kwity Paye plays, and he has played so far, what he did at Michigan and what he's done in preseason, I like him a lot. And I think he's probably the best D-end out of this class, which is crazy because you've got Rousseau, you've got Tryon, you've got all those other the guy who went to Miami, Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
Great players. They all look solid. Rousseau has tons of athleticism. I'm going Kwity Paye.
I agree completely. I just think that
brings a dynamic to that D-line, which is also not a bad D-line. It's solid as it stands, but if you bring in more guys, it makes it better. So
I agree.
Also, the AFC South has pretty weak offensive lines other than the Colts. So
sorry, Titans fans.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
So moving on to the next one, we have comeback player of the year.
So I want yours on this one.
So
I hope we didn't pick the same
I
player.
guess if you base it off injury, if you do.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey.
So you picked – okay, so I think that's the general consensus.
It is based off, injury.
Is that McCaffrey, even despite being injured for, 13 games last season?
Yeah.
I think he played 3 games.
I think so. You would not.
Still,
you would know. I think you drafted him.
Well, I was just about to bring up the point that he's still the number 1 option on most draft boards. So thank you for that reminder. But I think that's the general consensus that he's going to be the comeback player of the year. I mean, he's a very dynamic playmaker. You guys know who Christian McCaffrey is. If you follow football, if you follow news, that guy is elite at the position. My pick is not Christian McCaffrey, though.
Who is it?
So there's a guy from Ohio who plays in Ohio, and they don't have an indoor practice facility, as Pat McAfee would say.
Who is this?
Joe Burrow. I like Joe Burrow going into the season. Now, I don't like Jamar Chase, but I do like Joe Burrow.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I thought that was a bad pick, and then he's looked terrible so far. But I think he's talented enough to turn it around. But Joe Burrow, gruesome injury last year. You never like to see that. Doesn't matter who the player is.
Can I have a cold take?
What's your cold take?
He's out week 3.
You think he's going to get hurt again?
Yes.
I mean, they brought in some O-linemen. They're not going to...
Some.
And he looks solid. Now, okay, so I was up. There was 3 players that I was thinking of. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey. And then, obviously, I chose Joe Burrow. And I think Joe Burrow's going to have a 4,000-yard passing season.
Joe Burrow. 4,000 yards.
Calling it now, 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns.
That's bold.
14-plus interceptions, though.
That is really bold.
So
I'm mind blown right now. You actually just picked Joe Burrow.
So, but the other player that I didn't bring up, and I think he is worth bringing up, whether you love him or hate him, is Dak Prescott. The guy was on pace to be the best quarterback in the league.
Isn't he still hurt right now?
I think they say he'll be ready for week 1, which no head coach would tell you that their quarterback's going to be out week 1 when you're trying to game plan and the season starts in today's Sunday, so 5 days.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell the media that your quarterback's not playing, because then you can prepare for whoever they have in there, Will Grier or Cooper Rush. Mike McCarthy's not going to say that. But
I mean, you do have Joe Mixon, you do have Jamar Chase, you do have Tyler Boyd. I mean, I think
T. Higgins,
which is like a little unknown guy.
Well, he's not unknown. He was almost 1,000-yard receiver last year, but
I mean, people aren't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna draft T Higgins in fantasy.
I mean, yeah, he's out of the top 100 in
You know,
fantasy.
like-
So I mean, but like
Tyler Boyd's a little more known because he gets more receptions.
it's funny to me though. Just a sidebar. They have T Higgins ranked above Tyler Boyd on Yahoo Fantasy,
which I disagree with.
I fully disagree with. I like Tyler Boyd, so I don't know. Anyway,
I like Tyler Boyd when AJ Green was still on the team and AJ Green got hurt or he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
So Tyler Boyd got like all the
great
receptions.
fill in for sure. Yeah. And then so of course like I say, you can't discount Dak Prescott. We know he's been a solid player for them. Some would say he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. Some would be wrong.
I would say top 10. I don't know about 5, but
I would put him in the top 8. But I just personally, I don't love Dak Prescott. But you know what? His numbers are extremely similar to Deshaun Watson, and a lot of people put Deshaun ahead of him. So I think he gets a little bit of hard pressed there. But am I going to touch him with a 10-foot pole?
no.
So
No. Was going to say something, but no.
I'm going to massage my way around.
Shut. Oh, my God.
So anyway.
Defensive player of the year. This one might shock people for my pick. But I think that with their D-line and how good it is.
Okay, I think we have the same player.
Chase Young.
Yeah, Chase Young. And actually,
Dear God.
There's a lot of people who are saying that. So it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh, this is a bold pick. But honestly, if you pick Aaron Donald, you're going to be right.
My other guy was TJ Watt.
See, I like that pick too. But if you pick Aaron Donald, you're going to be right 60% of the time.
Right.
So it's like, do you want to really be the boring? Like, this sounds bad because, I mean, obviously you think he's probably going to be in the top, in contention.
Yeah, every year.
So it's like, do you really want to be the guy who says, oh, Aaron Donald's going to be defensive player of the year? I'm like, oh, that's entertaining. Like, that's a good pick. No, I think Chase Young, though, with the way their D-line is going to have an elite season should he stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, like we always say, if he can stay healthy, which for my offensive player of the year is the same thing, stay healthy.
Well, I mean, for my comeback player of the year, apparently you think he's going to get injured week 3.
I do, evidently. So I don't know about like out for the whole year, but for Chase Young, like looking at him like on the sidelines when he plays, dude, he's like, even though they're on offense, he's still like not sitting on the bench. You know, he's got a lot of energy.
He's a young guy with a lot of pop. Like
Lots.
He's one of those guys you need on your sideline.
Yes. So then we got.
And we should preface this. I'm a U of M fan, and he's a State fan, and we're both picking an Ohio State guy for defensive player.
I can't believe you just made that announcement.
Why?
No.
Why? Oh, are you embarrassed?
Oh, how we hate Ohio State.
No, I mean, like, just can't argue with greatness.
0-6.
What's that?
Jim Harbaugh.
I hate Harbaugh, dude. You can't. I said that was a bad hire 4 years ago. So anyway, but like we both picked an OSU guy, and it feels kind of dirty and wrong, but it is what it is.
I mean, I'm a State guy, and I've picked a Ohio State and a Michigan guy.
But you know, I mean, Joe Burrow did play at Ohio State, or well, he didn't play, but he was at Ohio State. So I guess I got 2 Ohio State guys.
Yikes.
But, yeah. Okay, so your offensive player of the year, and this is where I think like.
Who do you got?
So you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna sound like a homer here, so just bear with me. I think that coming off the best season of his career, an MVP season, I think we all know where this is going. If ever he had more fuel to light up the league, I don't know of a time. Aaron Rodgers is going to be my offensive player of the year. And I think he's going to put up close to, if not better, numbers than last year.
Offensive player of the year or MVP?
Offensive player of the year. Not
Offensive
MVP,
player of the year.
Not MVP, because I have a much more bold prediction on this one.
Okay.
So,
if my guy can stay healthy throughout the whole year.
are we getting 2 awards for this guy? Is
For
that
what
what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
If he can stay, dude, he's literally going to be like practically like a receiver and a running back.
So you're going Kamara?
I'm going Alvin Kamara.
Okay, I was going to say, it's either Kamara or McCaffrey, which is why I asked you if it was 2 awards for him, because I thought you were going to go McCaffrey
I just,
on that.
I'm so high on him this year. I think he's just going to carry that team.
I mean, quite literally might have to carry that team. We don't know what version of Jameis Winston is going to be on the field. And if checkdowns in a PPR league and like that, like he's definitely a fantasy top 2 pick. But
I think Latavius Murray is a good pickup just in case, like,
Kamara's going to be the workhorse. You're going to have to give somebody carries.
Exactly. He's going to be there like practically like a quarterback on the field,
So, I mean, don't discount the chances of him getting hurt. Obviously, you don't want that. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to see that. But, like, running backs, I think if any player on the field gets hurt more than running backs, I don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to backtrack a second. Comeback player of the year, too. Saquon Barkley's got to be on that list, right?
I mean, technically, like, he's still questionable for the year off of his injury.
Well, he's probably going to play, but it might not.
But if he does
away.
play, I understand what you mean. Like, he's
got to be in contention right off the bat.
Because
if he stays healthy, I mean, the dude's. I think we kind of.
His calves are bigger than my freaking head.
His quads. He and AJ Dillon are.
All right, you're just a homer over there.
No, have you seen AJ Dillon's quads? They call him the Quad Father, bro. Like,
are they bigger than Saquon Barclay?
Probably a bigger or the same.
I think we need to end this podcast.
Wild. No, we got one more to go over, buddy.
All right, you go. MVP. Who do you got?
No, see, okay, so I don't know. Do we want to? Maybe we go at the same time and we'll debate it. You might have the same pick as me, so this could be completely.
3, 2, 1. Matt Stafford.
Oh, okay. I didn't say mine, but
who do you got?
Josh Allen, which I think is not a bold pick,
right?
But the reason I say it's a bold pick is because I said Aaron Rodgers might have a better season than he did last year, and Josh Allen's still going to beat him out for MVP. Josh Allen might throw for 50 touchdowns this year, if not more.
50 touchdowns.
He may come close to breaking Peyton's record.
Rushing and passing, or just passing?
Passing.
Just passing.
Yes.
So you're high on Stephon Diggs, too?
Always high on Stephon Diggs. Which, by the way...
Cole Beasley?
Well, that depends on some things.
They don't have John Brown anymore.
Yeah, the Raiders, I think we might have talked about this before, but they released him. He was a year removed from being a 1,000-yard receiver with the Bills.
Yeah, which I didn't understand why the Bills got rid of him either.
Yeah, I don't either. Too much room in the... Well, I guess they got Isaiah McKenzie and a couple other guys there. So, I mean, you don't really... John Brown's pushing 30 if he's not 30 already. So, I mean, younger... Unfortunately, in the league, younger is better usually.
Mm-hmm.
So, but... yeah, I like Josh Allen a lot this year. I think he's going to really pop off. Dawson Knox, also, for fantasy fans, late round snag. He saved me a couple times last year with a couple snags in the end zone. I love that guy. Not because we share a name, but he's a pretty badass player. So you have Stafford. I want you to kind of get into this.
I have Matt Stafford.
I want you to get into this.
This isn't even like BSing.
Okay.
Look at the numbers that the wide receivers have put up with Jared Goff.
Okay, so
I have not, even when he was drafted, I have not liked Jared Goff.
Me either.
I've always not liked him. I thought Sean McVay is a very offensive-minded guy.
I tend to agree.
You have Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Who injuries, he's in the past, he's off and on.
Tons of boomer bust potential.
Some people never talk about Robert Woods for some reason.
Somehow Cooper Kupp is ranked ahead of Robert Woods this year on fantasy drafts, and I don't get it.
Robert Woods is
solid.
He's very solid.
He's a number one option on a lot of teams in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody talks about him, I feel like, anyway.
Tyler Higby?
I like Higby, but is he the starter? They got rid of Everett.
Right? Yeah, he's in Seattle now.
So, okay, so maybe he's probably a pretty suitable option at the tight end position. That's the other thing is I feel like there's depth at tight end this year. It felt like the last couple of years it was either you get Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, or you don't get anybody.
Or
Kittle. Yeah. So,
but I just think that the numbers that the wide receivers have put up there and the talent and the play calling, especially because Detroit, I mean, come on, they don't have the best play calling. They don't have the best offensive line. Matt Stafford was always running for his life. Granted, he did put up good numbers all the time. He had pretty good comebacks, but Detroit, I just feel like they're not a winning franchise. I know that's been proven, but
they're not a winning city anymore.
that's true. Nobody wants to live there.
Well, that's the same problem Green Bay runs into with teams or like bringing players in is nobody wants to live there. At least there's stuff to do in Detroit. There's nothing to do in Green Bay, Wisconsin. If you've ever been there, it's hopefully you're a football fan. But like, yeah, it's Detroit sports and Detroit football specifically. Like, we've lived in the area. We had to been forced to watch Lions football for 20 years, you know?
I mean, they got like pretty solid fans. Like, even living up here,
the fan base is
like
all time. Like, as a Packer fan, I can honestly tell you, like, shout out Lions fans for not being quitters.
Yep.
Like, honestly. Stop giving me crap about being a Packer fan, though. So
why?
Well, some of y'all are rude. But anyway, no. So Stafford has never been terrible.
He's never been terrible.
I don't think he's ever had what somebody would call a bad season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Jared Goff, I mean, he's supposed to be the starter going into this season, right? So why is he on the field for as many reps as the backups? I don't think that Dan Campbell really believes in Jared Goff.
I just think that Matt Stafford being put into a new system with brand new weapons, I feel like he's just going to unleash.
Oh, I agree. But the only thing that holds the Rams back for me is running back.
Absolutely.
Which they did just get Sony Michel from.
Which I think he's
solid, suitable.
He's a very solid running back. He's always been running back by committee, so we don't really know his full potential.
Well, but he's still going to be probably running back by committee. They still have Darrell Henderson. So you're going to probably see a rotation of those two guys. But Sony Michel doesn't get drafted in a lot of fantasy leagues.
Well, he didn't get drafted because nobody picks up Patriots running backs.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying, like, in the mocks we've been doing,
that's true.
I don't think anybody's drafted him. And he could be a really, really good either waiver pickup or late round pick if your draft is.
Who do you think will be the goal line back, Henderson or Michel?
Henderson. Michel's not a power back. He's a one cut type back. He's going to get you 4 yards of carry, but he's probably not going to break it off for 25 yards to a touchdown.
That's fair.
Henderson, though, he's a bowling ball kind of guy, it seems like. Through the trenches, through the gut. You get your A gap, B gap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I think you're going to get a lot of goal line carries out of Henderson. So that's where his value is probably going to be, is leeching touchdowns. But as far as out of the backfield, the reason I bring up Michel is because he brings a passing dynamic to the game. That was one of the things he did with New England a lot. So Stafford will be able to throw out of the backfield into the flats or on a screen or a designed, whatever play. And you're going to see, I think, a lot of that kind of stuff. Weapons he didn't have when he played with Detroit. So I definitely think he has a shot at, being the MVP. And I can't disagree with you. I think there's a real possibility that he could do it.
Oh, yeah. And same for Josh Allen, too.
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't want to discount Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, or even Tom Brady. Those guys are great, but it's just
absolutely.
You feel like going into this season, there's a real chance that these guys can really perform and put on a show and be the MVP. So that's about all I got. So we're gonna get back to you guys in this week some point. We got stuff to talk about. We got our fantasy draft to talk about. We got the college season, which
the
just
college
kicked
season
off.
was wild.
Wild start to the season.
Weekend.
So
happy to be a Michigan fan and happy to be a State fan.
Yeah, definitely. We love you guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.